After coffee this morning, we've departed Valley City, North Dakota, on our way to Leech Lake Campground at Federal Dam, Minnesota. Then we'll continue on from there and see the ship that most closely resembled the Edmund Fitzgerald, and we'll be traveling on up to Whitefish Point to the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum. We'll see the bell that they raised from the Edmund Fitzgerald and the memorial, and a lot of other interesting stuff there. And we'll see several lighthouses along the way, and we'll tour the lighthouse keeper's residence at Whitefish Point. Here we're at the Leech Lake Campground at Federal Dam, Minnesota. Restroom, showers, everything on each side. And in the middle is a laundry room with free washers and dryers for the guests that are here. 2 washers and 2 dryers. The restroom and laundry facilities here are fantastic. Everything is clean and well stocked. Showers down here. This is a very, very nice facilities on this. There's a fish cleaning building here and a boat dock and boat ramp. If our stay here had been a week later, we might not have got a spot. Fishing season starts and this place gets totally packed. The dam here was originally constructed between 1881 and 1884 as part of the Mississippi River Headwaters Reservoir System. The current 294-foot-long structure is made of concrete and reinforced with steel. This was used to replace the original wood abutments and bays between 1900 and 1903. Feels so good just to get out and walk in the woods. Getting out into nature is something I strongly encourage everyone to do. Like we're coming back around into a different chunk of the campground here. Smell of the trees and the extra oxygen in this, just wonderful. Federal Dam Fire Department was practicing drafting, where they're sucking water out of the lake with pumps and out of this tank as practice priming your pumps and getting things going. Your last chance before fishing season makes this dock too busy. This morning we're leaving the Leech Lake Campground, headed for Wisconsin. And we'll see you down the road. Coming up on the right here, we'll be passing the Moquat Bar, known as the Plywood Palace. It's a famously rustic, iconic dive bar known for its makeshift plywood construction and dirt floor. It's a cash-only cheap beer establishment. The dual rear guidance system in operation. We're at the Birch Grove National Forest Campground near Washburn, Wisconsin, at Twin Lakes Landing. We really enjoyed this campground. Maybe one of the reasons for that is we seem to have beat the mosquitoes there. This campground has nicely spaced campsites. It has clean, stocked restrooms. It's just a very nice campground all the way around. Very pretty. Rex and Tally are busy checking Sniffopedia for all the latest information. We're having a pleasant evening playing Parcheesi. Two loons on one of the lakes in a mating game. After a beautiful sunset, it's time to get some sleep. Good morning. After a shot of coffee, we're ready to get busy on some more adventure today. The smell of delight. A beautiful sunrise. It makes a perfect start to a day. Okay. Annie's busy helping me get ready to head for our next destination. We really enjoyed the spot here, but it's time for us to head on. We're heading for the Inland Resort Casino RV Park at Harris, Michigan. Checking in at the casino, the only money that I lost here is what I spent on the campground site. The spaces here were small and close together. If we'd have had somebody beside us who lit a fire in their fire ring, they would have damaged our flight out. A third of the shower and restrooms were out of service completely, and the one that I used, even it had a problem. This is the way we make chili in our RV. It's not the way we would make it at home, but this is much, much tastier than anything that comes out of just one can. This is so much better than just traditional. I wish you could smell it. Getting a little video editing done for YouTube. Callie has a bit of an ear infection. Put some medicine in her ear. And then Rex, he always has to have some, but his just gets a placebo. Good morning again. Have some coffee and we'll get going. We'll get out of here. Traveling before a lot of the campgrounds have opened for the season makes it harder to find good ones. We're in Escanaba, Michigan. This is the Cason J. Callaway. Launched in 1952, it's the ship that most closely resembles the Edmund Fitzgerald. Originally 82 feet shorter than the Fitz, it was lengthened 120 feet and became 38 feet long, at 767 feet long now, with a capacity of 25,300 tons after the self-unloader was installed. This is looking out over Lake Michigan. You can see the Peninsula Point Lighthouse on the opposite side of the inlet. This is the Sand Point Lighthouse at Escanaba, Michigan. Built in 1867, it guided ships on Lake Michigan until 1939, warning them of the dangerous Sandpoint Reef. Restored by the Delta County Historical Society, it now serves as a maritime museum. It had not yet opened for the season when we were there. This is the Manistee East Breakwater Lighthouse, Manistee, Michigan. We're at Whitefish Point, home of the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum, the Whitefish Point Lighthouse, and Edmund Fitzgerald Memorial. An old ship rudder. Launched in 1958, the Fitzgerald was the largest ship on the Great Lakes for 13 years. This is the bell from the Fitzgerald that was raised in 1995. A replacement bell was placed on the Fitzgerald with the names of the 29 crew members. The hard-shell diving suit played an important part in reaching the Fitzgerald. There were a great many other artifacts from other shipwrecks that occurred on the Great Lakes to be seen at the museum. One style of lighthouse light lens. This was a lighthouse light that would revolve and have a beam going around in a circle. It would take many hours to cover all of the very interesting things to be seen there. A very early diving suit with air being supplied by a hand-driven air pump. This was the lighthouse lightkeeper's residence. It had lots of living space, including a number of nice bedrooms. It included a space for the lighthouse keeper's office. Listening to the latest in music. Many dinners would have been served in here. Undoubtedly, a lot of good meals came out of this kitchen. I would have loved to have gotten some drone shots of this lighthouse, but it borders on a wild bird refuge and I couldn't fly. Here's where the U.S. Coast Guard kept their boats ready to respond in an emergency. How would you like to take one of these boats out in 20-foot waves to rescue someone? Looking out across Lake Superior from Whitefish Point. Whitefish Point here is called the graveyard of the Great Lakes. Over 300 vessels have gone down off of Whitefish Point here. This is around Whitefish Point. On the other side, it goes into Whitefish Harbor, and that's where the Edmund Fitzgerald was trying to make it when it went down in Lake Superior. Our time here was too short, but was very definitely enjoyed. We're heading for the Andros Lake State Forest Campground, Paradise, Michigan. This is a very nice campground, quite close to Whitefish Point, like 15 minutes away. The campsites were nicely spaced, had a clean stocked restroom. It had a big plus for Rex and Tally. There was no other campers here, so I could let them run. Checking Sniffopedia again for information about this campground. We love to camp right along the water whenever we can. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe. And then join us on the next leg of our journey from Wyoming to Maine. Till then, be gentle on yourself and on others.